Hi, this is Beverley and Freeman, your tutor, and today we're going to talk about mediumship. So, as well as reading the PDF, I want you to really think about and understand how spirit connect to us, what the spirit world is, and how you can advance your mediumship in a practical way. First of all, just to explain to you my opinion on what the spirit world is. And I don't like to project my opinions onto people because I believe that you have to make up your own mind about what the spirit world represents for you. Having said that, as a teacher, I like to advise my students in the way that I feel is the best possible way. So, what is spirit? Well, spirit is all-encompassing source energy, which is just eternal and unconditional love. Spirits or souls are eternal, which means when we leave our physical bodies, we will transcend back into where we came from, which is this unconditional love source energy. We will not maintain any physical shape, but we will maintain an individual consciousness. So when, as mediums, we try to communicate with the spirit world, what they send to us as a visual is an image or projection of the physical being that they were when they were here. That doesn't necessarily mean that they are exactly that now. It just means that they are showing you or giving you evidence of who they were when they were in the physical body. They will also give you information like character traits, personality, things that they like to do, what they did for a living, friends and loved ones, names, places, dates, times, etc. They will also give you feelings, either of their passing or certain feelings that they may have had towards specific ideas or situations. And all these things are evidence that the consciousness of who they were has survived death, as we like to call it. And this evidence will bring much comfort to the people that are still down here in the physical, enjoying the physical world, and yet sometimes and quite often grieving their loved ones that have moved into the spirit world and transitioned into the next life. I believe that when we die, we just experience more life. So there's actually no such thing as death. A medium's job is to prove beyond any doubt that the soul of the person who is coming through has survived passing, has survived the transition, has survived what we call on the physical plane death. So the way that they do this is they're an energy vibration which is always transmitting, always. And we have an energy vibration which is always transmitting. And so what we have to do is actually tune into each other. So we tune into the energy vibration of spirit, and spirit tune into our energy vibration. And when we do that, we get a clear communication channel. Similar to radio waves, if the spirit world is transmitting on BBC Radio 1 and you're tuned into BBC Radio 2, then you're not going to hear what's being said. There's also occasions where you're twiddling the knob on the radio to get to Radio 1, but the transmission isn't clear, and so what we get are snippets of information. And it may be that when you're developing medium, when you're unfolding your natural mediumistic abilities, that you don't get all the information clearly, you don't get a clear signal, you're not tuning in clearly to the transmission of the spirit world. So you end up getting snippets of information rather than the whole thing. And this is perfectly fine. The most important thing is trust. And giving exactly what you get and not trying to get something and then turn it into some kind of tangible sentence or something that makes sense to you in your brain and then giving the information. Because quite often what the spirit world give is 110% correct, and even if it doesn't make any sense to you, or even if it isn't a full sentence, the best thing to do is give it exactly as it's received. And therefore you will find that the evidence that you give is probably better received and makes more sense to the person that you're giving it to. The other thing I want to say about working with spirit is that there is absolutely nothing to fear. The spirit world is pure love energy, and the tales of evil spirits and poltergeists and all these things are the tales of horror stories. My personal belief and my personal experience, and I can only come from a place of personal belief and personal experience, is that everything in the spirit world and of the spirit world is unconditional love. It is the purest form of unconditional love. And actually, it's a level of unconditional love that we cannot fathom, describe, or even think to comprehend on the earth plane, because it is much higher and much deeper and much purer than anything we could possibly experience here. Even the love between mother and child, or even the love that you get from your animal, will not even dip the toe in the surface of the amount of unconditional love that is there in the spirit world. So you're tapping into this beautiful unconditional light, which is actually there and accessible for everyone. It's where we came from and it's where we go back to. The way we tune into spirit vibration is by raising our vibration, and the spirit world actually allow their energy vibration to drop so that we meet somewhere in the middle. When we do mental mediumship, which is when the spirit world communicators influence our auric field so that we can see, hear, feel, taste, smell, or know what spirit are trying to communicate to us. This is called mental mediumship, and it basically uses our brains to process the information to enable us to give a message to somebody who they are wanting to speak to. When they do that, they only blend within our auric field, maybe about 1 inch or 2 inches. And so it's a really kind of light blending of our auric field with the spirit energy vibration. That's why it's the mental mediumship. It's the lighter form of mediumship. If we sit in trance, for example, then the energy vibration that the spirit world can transcend into our auric field becomes much deeper, and they're able to influence us in a physical way. If you want to learn more about trance mediumship, then that is in the advanced course, and we talk a little bit more about sitting for trance and learning to blend with your spirit guides for the purpose of love, messages, and philosophy. If you're wanting to move into physical mediumship, where you are physically manifesting spirit in the room, then again the blending process is much deeper into your own auric field. Spirits can never jump into the body. There's only one soul who can ever sit in a body at one time. And so your auric field is basically the energy vibration that your non-physical energy is giving off into the world. The spirit world then blend with that auric field to allow themselves to communicate. And if we can tune in as finely as possible, then we will get the clear signal, the clear messages, and the clear communication of spirit. The only thing that you really need to do as a medium is allow yourself to be open enough, to trust enough, and to be willing to be a clear channel for spirit. the intention is super important. Always have an open heart. Know that you're working with unconditional love, and work from a place of love. So work from a higher place within yourself to be able to give the purest information that you possibly can to any one receiver. The other thing that I would say to you about mediumship is, in order for you to be in the right place to receive and to tune in to the spirit energy vibration, you need to really be in a calm place. And that's why sitting in the power is such a fantastic practice for the unfoldment of your natural mediumistic abilities. Sitting in the power, as you would have learned by now, was given to us by the spirit world to improve our mediumship. Now, what Glyn used to say was that to go and sit with the spirit world is the beginning of the blending process. And Gordon Higginson said that the best medium was Jesus, because he took time to go and sit with God, to go and meet his Father, he went into the wilderness for 40 days. And the reason why he did that was he was taking time to get to know his Father, to get to know God, to get to know the spirit world, and actually to get to know the spirit within him. And sitting in the power, the practice of sitting in the power, really enables you to do that. So it's this practice of learning to go and sit with the spirit world before you even start communicating with them. And I can honestly say that if you consistently sit in the power, when you come to practicing your mediumistic abilities, the blending process will become so natural and so easy and so trusting for you that you will find that you slip into it in a very comfortable manner, with lots of confidence about exactly where you're coming from. Don't forget that within this process, you also have your spirit guides and the spiritual energy of wisdom that comes from your higher self, that will really enable you to move forward in all facets of mediumship. I want you to work on your trust, your knowledge of the unconditional love that awaits you. And I want you to enjoy the process. Do not put pressure on yourself to speak to spirit, because it really isn't about pressure. It's actually the opposite of pressure. It's about blending with a pure love energy that will bring you happiness and joy the more you work with it. So I hope that explains spirit a little bit more. If you have any questions regarding spirit or mediumship, you can email me at Beverley and Freeman at live.co.uk. You can visit my website, www.beverleyandfreeman.com, or you can look at the Advanced Mediumship course on www.psychiccoursesonline.com. So for now, namaste.